Good morning, Jack.
Morning. Awesome.
We're here at PorcFest 2024. No, we're here at PorcFest 2023 with the guy that everybody came out to see, the one, the only, the caped Mr. Jack Casey. Jack, how are you, sir?
I'm excellent. This is my first PorcFest, first time penetrating New Hampshire, and I like it. It feels good.
We've not only penetrated New Hampshire, but we have penetrated the Free the People tent that we have taken over, because Matt Kibbe was supposed to be the first interview that we did here at PorcFest, but he bailed because his wife whipped him too hard, and now Jack Casey gets the honor of being my first interview. Jack, how do you feel so far?
Good. Since you're the one whipping me hard as your assistant this trip, your assistant film or camera person, beer holder sometimes. Yeah, it's great. Listen, don't hurt people and don't take their stuff unless it's funny.
He's saying fed.
Oh, is that you?
If one person uses a threat of force to take money away from one other person who doesn't want to give it to him, that's robbery and it's bad. But if 377 people use the threat of force to take money away from 300 people who don't want to give it to them, that's democracy and it's good.
I was raised conservative Christian. My dad was a pastor. We're not going to get that deep into it, but it might come up, the God stuff. Now, let us open with a word of prayer. What? Close your eyes. Show a little respect for your Creator, Jesus. Dear God, what the fuck am I doing here? Why? Why am I here? What's the reason for this specifically? I hope at some point over the next hour, you figure it out and you let me know. If not, I guess it's fine. I'm gonna do it anyway. Okay, thanks, bye. All right.
My name is Gabrielle Clark, and I filed the first federal lawsuit against woke indoctrination in America. My son was being asked to list his identities and attach signifiers to those identities. He was only given two options for those signifiers: privileged and oppressed. Now, I'm half black, I'm half white. My first husband was black, my second husband was white. So some of my kids are 3/4 black and some of my kids are 3/4 white. My husband died when my son William was 1 year old. 1 month before he died, I got into an accident where I injured my knee pretty badly. So by the time this all happened, I had lost the use of my knee and I was in a wheelchair. We'd lost everything we had. But because he's white, his dad went to college, he's male, because he was assumed straight, that just made him privileged. Even though he was taking care of his disabled mother, he had black siblings, his father died when he was 1, and we were living in a dirty motel and he was sleeping on a mat on the floor. Not a mattress, a mat. And when we said, no, we're not going to attach these signifiers to his identity, and we asked for relief, they ignored us. So we sued their drawers off, like you do.
Did you win?
I live in a very nice bungalow by the beach.
Nice.
Jeremy has now formed the Hug Caucus and he's stopped insulting everybody. He's just more proof that when somebody loses weight, they instantly become completely unfunny. He has Jonah Hill syndrome.
What's that, Reed?
Yeah, this is for you, Jeff Douglas.
Then the third engine explodes. There's only one engine left. The pilot comes over the intercom and he says, "Ladies and gentlemen, we've done our calculations, and we're going to make it to London, but in the next 5 minutes, 3 people have to jump off of this airplane. And so everyone kind of looks around the cab, wondering what they're going to do. And then one French guy stands up and he goes to the door and he says, "Vive la France!" And he jumps out the door and everyone's like, oh my God, what an amazing sacrifice. A British guy stands up and he says, "Long live the Queen!" Runs through the door, jumps out, and everyone's just like, oh my God, what an amazing sacrifice, I can't believe this. Then this big Texan gets up. He's like 6'6", 250 pounds. He's walking down the hallway. As he's walking down, the whole plane's shaking. He gets to the door and he turns around and he says, "Remember the Alamo." And he grabs 3 Mexicans and throws them out the door.
All right, yeah, so my ex-girlfriend used to really like to role play, and she thought it would be really hot if I was a cop, so I shot her dog.
Not one shoe lighting up another. Oh. I need you now.
No, you be the judge.
Okay.
You be the judge. Okay, Lassie, you could go first.
Wait,
I'll hold
what are we
this.
talking about?
What scene who's guess who's is better? You could be the judge. Okay, go ahead. Do your guess what scene is better.
Okay. I like it.
Okay, you ready for this? I can do it way better than that. Ready? She's happy.
All right. Oh, nice.
Way better than
Okay.
that. Which one's
Your move.
Mine?
We're going back and forth, right? This is a dance-off.
Whose is better?
They were both really good. It's hard to say. Do you need an answer? Really?
Yes.
Do you need an answer? Man, look at me. I'm so white. I don't know what the best dance move is. Crazy stuff, dude. Crazy stuff. What's he talking about?
Let me do crazy stuff.
You do cartwheels around the whole like place.
Wait, ready?
That's awesome.
She literally
Is that crazy? That's not crazy. That's just being built different.
You hit him?
yes.
That is a violation of the net.
I'm a Christian fundamentalist, but obviously that's not what led me to Flat Earth, because I was a Ball Earth Christian
Right,
for
'cause
45 years.
Exactly, because you can have Christianity or any religion
But
with the ball
I
if
wasn't
you wanted
taught
to.
Flat Earth, so
Right. It's not like you needed that to have your faith. You already had it.
I
But then
talk,
you find other
I
stuff.
talk to young kids and they say, well, you don't know this, and I'll have kids trying to describe the heliocentric model to me, and I'm like, I was a Ball Earther for longer than you've been alive.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
not like I don't know
I was
about
taught
it.
all the same bullshit, and then I
And
as an adult went back and looked and was like,
I
oh, no.
became a Flat Earther, kicking and screaming.
Why are we so damn terrified? The joke's on us, the joke's on us. Keep trying to find a place to hide. The joke's on us, the joke's on us.
If you're behind the camera all night,
I'm not gonna be. I'm gonna be on the stage part of the night, and he's gonna be
No.
behind the camera.
I think there's no one who could slice to the inside of me more than the scissor of wit that is Daniel Smots. And I want your scissor inside of me, Dan. I want it so bad. Wait,
Go on.
Where did we
Go
go?
on.
Where did we
Keep
go
going.
with that?
Keep going. I went nowhere with
So
it. Where
let's
did you
talk-
go with that?
Let's talk about the Weinstein-like treatment that you gave me when I had to work with you. Okay?
Explain.
I have never had to touch such a small shriveled penis just to get a video made. Dan has so many recordings of me being so gay. He has recordings of me literally sucking 4 dicks at the same time, and he hasn't released a single one of them.
And he did now.
Jacket on, because it's got the mic on it.
Jeremy Kaufman is a controversial figure, but they say he has a philosophy, right? There's a method to his madness. They say those who think and act young stay young at heart, which explains why Jeremy Kaufman behaves like a child on the internet.
I love working with Jeremy. He's my favorite person that I've ever worked with. And
Meaner.
people act like you're a CEO and an evil man on the internet. That's all good and well, but you're more of like a hobo dad, like just a schlubby dude, and some people like that. I'm not a fan, but you know, I've got nothing here, man. I love you. I got nothing.
Jeremy, you do get a chance to defend yourself for
Why would
15 seconds.
Why would I need to counter roast the gayest roast possible? You came up to roast me and you just sucked my dick.
All right, Angela's got some jokes. I'm gonna call her up because she's booing me right now. She's having it. So let's go, Angela McCardle. Give it up for her.
So Jeremy was just bragging earlier, humble bragging, telling me that he lost weight because he was fat, and being fit is good. It's too bad he's not fit for public office.
Well played, well played.
When Jeremy fills out the census, he selects lizard person as his ethnicity. Just kidding, he selects ethno-nationalist. He's got a fascinating collection of offensive tweets and probably a collection of children's foreskins hidden under his bed. He sits at the higher end of the bell curve for intelligence, as evidenced by his impressive litigation strategy, losing one of the most important court cases in history for us. Can't even spell library. But hey, he had the best libertarian campaign in New Hampshire, as evidenced by his incredibly low voter turnout. Worst 5K I've ever spent. Jeremy cost me thousands of dollars in donations at the national party, but hey, at least I don't cry about it like Michael Heiss.
Hey! You should do this more often. Do you want my job?
At least the ads were good. Most entertaining campaign ads I've ever seen, because he's secretly running the entertainment industry. I keep waiting for the pot of gold at the end of that rainbow. Sorry, I'm thinking about a different group of greedy, annoying people. Jeremy's crowning achievement was telling blacks to go back to Africa, because it's part of his secret plan to get murdered and become one of those statistics he constantly whines about. What a brilliant strategy. He was Kangs. Thank you, guys.
Savage. Give a great hand to Angela McCardle. That was excellent.
We love you.
That was awesome. That was great.
You can cost me donations for it. I don't give a fuck.
I love that.
That was excellent. If only you could make the Libertarian Party as effective as those jokes. Move to New Hampshire, Angela. We're ready for you. All right, guys, that was fantastic. That was fantastic. I am very surprised.
Jeremy, I just wanted to say that, you're really an inspiring person to me. And, I really love the fact that you were the least successful Libertarian Senate candidate we've had in 30 years. It just really meant a lot. And on top of our extreme electoral success, I was extremely honored that you showed up to like 3 or 4 events, and that you bothered to show up after one of your protesters actually got arrested and after the debate was over. So I just think I just really appreciate all that. So just wanted to say.
I was chairman of the Libertarian Party, and Jeremy, he caused me a lot of headaches, I'm not gonna lie. And I felt he was trying to fuck with my life, but then I realized karma's a real bitch because the government really fucked him. Holy shit, dude, I kind of wish it, but like not that much.
That's it. I looked. It is hard to roast this guy.
No, it's not hard. I will roast myself harder than you.
I'm actually thankful that I have Jeremy Coffin as a friend, because I can be like, no, I got a Jewish friend, and then I just hope they don't fucking Google him.
I don't know Jeremy for shit, but I might have heard the greatest racist joke I've ever heard as a black man in New Hampshire from Jeremy a while back. So, what do you call a black woman who's had 5 abortions? The world's greatest crime fighter.
I did not tell you that joke.
That was a lie, but he looks like the type.
Stefan actually has a yarmulke, so that's actually better.
Oh, I have a joke about that too.
Whoa, hold on. I am half
just want to let you know that.
Catholic.
You
I am
don't have
half
to.
Catholic. We have a whole area of jokes that no one even came close to. Why do you think I'm drinking these beers all the time? That's not the Jew. That's the Catholic. That's the Irish Catholic, guys.
So I'm just now finding out that Jeremy Kaufman is also Catholic. That opens up a new world of conversation. So like a lot of the like child labor laws or the like child work makes a lot more sense now.
Child work. He means child confessionals. He wants them to go in the glory hole. I'm sorry, in the confessional and see God in all the glory holes.
Thank you for explaining the joke.
Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is the strongest choice for president for those of us who strongly value liberty.
Yeah, a few minutes ago, somebody came up to me and said, "Hey, are you with the New York Times?" I'm not. I mean, that's probably the worst thing that anybody's ever said about me. So, we're gathered here on the month 40 after the lockdowns began. And we all know what that meant. It was the long, dark night of the soul. Our speaker today is, for me, the strongest, brightest, most brilliant light of the last 3 years and 3 months. And most of all, I would say that he has borne a lot of the slings and arrows for a lot of us. I think we all owe him a great gratitude. This country owes this man a great, civilization owes this man a great debt of gratitude. Help me give a warm PorcFest welcome to a hero, a man of courage, the man of the hour, Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
Thank you, everybody. I'm very, 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 very proud to be with a lot of people who value freedom in the United States of America. In August of 2020, when the pandemic just started and they were just doing the lockdowns and all the other stuff, I went to Germany and gave a speech in Berlin. And the estimates of the crowd there were 1.3 million. And we had Buddhists, priests, we had Hare Krishna people. You had people from every kind of ideology, left, right, first time coming together and saying, you know, somebody is stealing our freedom. And this is something we all need to unite about. And they said 1.3 million people. And nobody was wearing a mask. And that was, at that time, that was a kind of heresy. And there was an NBC crew from the United States there, and they were all masked up. And they said to me, why aren't you wearing a mask? Aren't you scared of COVID? And I said, there's things that I'm a lot more frightened about than COVID. And they said, what is that? And I said, that would be losing my constitutional rights and having my children grow up in America where they don't enjoy the kind of rights that I took for granted as a boy.
You know, what I would say more than anything else is, you know, when you go home and you have questions, ask yourself some questions about some of this stuff. Look it up for yourself. You know, do your own research. You know, I'm not the expert, and you shouldn't trust me, and you shouldn't trust them. So you shouldn't trust anyone on the stage. You know, go home and look some of this stuff up for yourself, and reach your own conclusions about some of these things, because that's actually the biggest thing that I would like to have happen from this conversation. Now that said, I'm about to punch you in the face with facts. So are you ready?
I'm going to punch you in the face with the facts is the penultimate libertarian strategy on almost everything. We're so good with our logic and our reason, and all the books we've read, I've read those books too, that we just want to berate people with the knowledge that we have, the facts and the figures and the data. I would slightly adjust what Jeremy's title should have been. I'm going to punch you in the face with data, because that's what he did to me just there. But I appreciate the libertarian spirit of relentlessly badgering me until I submit and realize, oh, maybe I'm a libertarian after all.
We got Alex Jones, InfoWars here at the Libertarian Institute tent right now. We're here with Sophie, and we're negotiating a deal right now. We're going to do a promo code on Infowars.com. Type in Scott Horton, get 20% off cases of Dr. Pepper. Right, Sophie? Infowars.com? Yeah. Infowars.com. Scott Horton promo code, 20% off.
Do an impression of my dad.
So, they armed 30,000 bin Ladenites.
All right, come on, honey.
And they thought they were
I'll
backed
meet you over there.
by the Mujahideen, but they weren't. But they actually were. And then John McCain went over there with Azov Battalion and brought over Stinger missiles. So they armed both sides.
And they did it anyways.
And they did it anyways.
Me. Like, dude, you're against people changing their gender? Are you sure?
You want to start that over, Scott?
No.
You need to find Pat Sylvester, who runs the Sigma Males. I don't know if you've met this guy, but he needs to go to Pat Sylvester. You were just saying the other day, you little bitch, you don't know how to do shit. Go to Man Camp, dude. It's at PorcFest.
I don't know what we're talking about.
I don't know. I'm telling Pat Sylvester who's gonna watch this video.
Oh, you should be looking at this lens right here.
I'm looking at you, Dan. Your eyes are up. My eyes are up here.
I'll put it up next to my eyes then. Try one more time.
Pat Sylvester, you're a little bitch. You were saying somebody needs to teach you how to do shit. Like, oh wait, no, it wasn't Pat. Who was it? Fuck you. But yeah, I figured I didn't want to lug, hundreds of books around. But I will give out free bookmarks. And who can turn down a free bookmark from a guy in a cape, right? I mean, come on.
I've turned down at least 7 of them so far. Keep offering, keep trying. You'll get me.
Listen, I've already got you. You've already read almost my books.
They're more like pamphlets, really, if you think about it.
Dan only reads my books in the bathtub. And so what I'm learning is he only takes a bath like every 3 to 6 months because that's when
fair.
I get a text that he's like, I'm in the bathtub with my candles and rose petals reading your book. And then I'm like,
He's I wish he was joking, but it's absolutely true.
What's your name?
Kimani.
Well, it's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
What's your favorite part of PorcFest?
The part that kids could make a lot of money.
Heck yeah.
I've heard about that.
We should get Brian McWilliams over here. They were the first ones that brought me out here, so you being here is me feeling bad for not paying it forward sooner. And I'm like, you're like my Make-A-Wish kid, where I was like, you were like, I really want to go to PorcFest. And I was like, it would be nice to have a guy to hold a camera. Shout out to Joe, who's doing Jack's job right now because of this.
Thank you.
Thank you. It gets tiring. You guys will notice the shake as the longer that the interview goes on.
There's I gotta, it's that limp wrist, It just gets me every time.
So this, we're pretty much done here because Jack hasn't even seen enough of the festival to comment on it. But we're gonna drag this out to see how shaky Joe can get during it. But thank you, Joe.
I'm not going anywhere, folks. This is just the beginning.
All right, so, thank you. So that one, that was just me putting out some shit. That was basically me telling the story of my experience over the campaign trail to that point where I'm like, all these people mattered to me in some way. Yes, I disagree with some henchmen and some Sarwarks and certain people that are in there. Nah, you know, I disagree with them now. But at the time, it was all about liberty, unity. And I will say my biggest regret from that video, from making that, is that it blew up motherfucking Reed Coverdale. I made that. And then Reed started this hashtag liberty unity shit that got his podcast going, got his podcast blowing up. Now he's got like twice the following that I have. We'll talk about it more later. But, so, I have no issue with Reed, we're buds. Sparks, like I'm here for the message, I'm here for the Sparks, whoever can do it, I don't need the recognition, I don't care. If I inspire, say if my Sparks inspire Reed Coverdale to make his podcast and then not show up for my fucking, anyway, can be nice today.
My name's Reed Coverdale. I'm a truck driver, lineman, kind of jack of all trades, been working my whole life. And I just got involved in the libertarian circles over the last couple of years.
So I just tweeted out the picture from the Libertarian Party in New Hampshire with Meghan McCain crying over the casket, and it just said, "Happy Holidays." And I was up in Maine when I made this tweet with really bad cell phone service. So I made the tweet and I put my phone away, and I took it out about 10 hours later, and I was like, holy shit. You know, I thought this was just gonna kind of be like any other tweet and go along its way, but it got us international news. Then suddenly over the next few days, news publications were contacting us, asking us why we had made this tweet, and then we put out series and series of tweets about how John McCain had helped arm terrorist groups in Syria, how he helped arm the Azov battalion with Lindsey Graham in Ukraine, and how he's responsible very much for leading up to the crisis that we're dealing with there today, and a lot of other things that people don't know, that he accidentally bombed a U.S. aircraft carrier during the Vietnam War, that his father helped cover up the USS Liberty incident. There's all sorts of things about John McCain that are awful. And we got the New York Post to write articles about John McCain's war crimes.
So hyperinflation is characterized as people say, oh, that's prices going up. Nope. That's the value of the currency going down. So the Venezuelan government lost all its foreign reserves, and then it started printing. So that was its dynamic. So as they started printing, they had to, you would have a $100 bill, then they had the equivalent of a $1,000 bill, then a $10,000 bill, then a $100,000 bill, then $1 million bill, then they lopped a whole bunch of zeros off and said the new $1 bill is the former $1 million bill, and then the process began over again.
What's up? My wife just let me know that. So she was out of town over Memorial Day, long holiday weekend, left me alone with the kids. Then she was in town for a weekend. Then she went out of town for another 4 days, during which I had 104-degree fever. I'm going on a bachelor party. Granted, it is on her birthday weekend, but then she's ditching me again for Monday and Tuesday immediately after. So 3 times now in about a month I'm home alone with the kids.
So your marriage is falling apart?
My marriage isn't falling apart. That's why I have to get a vasectomy. I need no more children.
It's a coat hook that I blacksmithed and forged myself.
What was the process?
Sticking a piece of metal into a forge, getting it hot, and banging it, and forming a point, spinning it around the anvil, turning it back, spinning it back down, hitting it, putting a punch through it, and then filing it.
A lot of banging, spinning, and
A
poking.
lot of banging, spinning. I'm using the proper terminology. Cheers.
Cheers, y'all.
Cheers.
PorcFest.
PorcFest. 20, whatever it is.
2023, number 20.
Right. Cheers.
You got a cool name. Like, whose name?
Oh, and they're coming for the kids.
Not the kids! We need the kids for the mines. The children yearn for the mines.
It's hard to mine when you're recovering from having your dick chopped off.
The Plus Ranger curls into a shaking ball, talking to themselves.
It's you again. I fucked that up.
Why would there be two?
I fucked it up, Matt. Is that what you want to hear?
A shadow figure emerges from the portal. BlackRock CEO Larry Fink.
Hello, this is Larry Fink here. We can't allow your powers of logic, critical thinking, or letting people be undermine our work towards the New World Order.
Question.
Yes.
Odie just said that he agreed with everybody before him, and
Jack Casey heavily alluded to the Earth not being round. So I would like to get your definitive statement on that.
John, your statement on the flat Earth theory?
You're gonna put me on the record there. I will say I don't know. Like, what do you consider round? I don't know what the Earth. I've never seen it.
Have you seen John's testicles? Because they are
flat, pretty flat.
I don't know the shape of the Earth, and nobody here does. We've just seen pictures of it, apparently. So that's what I'll say.
Based-ish.
What, Scott? What do you want?
My friend was asking, who's that guy with the camera who's always hanging around? And I said, Dan Smots. And she said, well, I don't know. That's why I'm asking you his name. And I'm like, well, I don't know exactly which guy you're talking about, but we have a friend named Dan. I said, you know, gel in his hair kind of guy. And she's like, I don't know, maybe. I could see now you're wearing a hat. But anyway, that was my mind's eye picture of you anyway. And then...
That was correct yesterday.
So then you were walking right there, and she's right there. So then I said, hey, is that him? And she said, yeah. And so there you are, and there she is. So maybe y'all need to talk about something.
I want to get into the details of both the Second World War and Winston Churchill to refute the importance of the fact that people like Sean Hannity and Vivek Ramaswamy, most Democrats, virtually all Republicans, are wrong when they say we need to blindly admire Churchill and just relentlessly hate the Hitlers of the world. And by that they mean whoever the Council on Foreign Relations tells us is the new Hitler.
Morgan is an amazing witch, but he's an even better boyfriend, and I don't deserve him.
Wait, maybe this is just my libertarian autism, but...
I'm sorry, what don't you respect about these people's love?
No, it's the full moon for days. What's that all about? Because the full moon doesn't last for days. It's just one night.
What if you're an albino and you just have a super pale ass? If you moon a werewolf, is he like... Nobody? Yeah, fuck you guys.
These people are the edges of their...
The female werewolf.
We don't have seats.
Oh, here we go.
No,
Here
Matt,
we go.
no.
Yeah. We got a woman on the panel.
Guys, a round of applause. We've broken Matt Kibbe. Everybody, we broke Matt Kibbe.
That's what's about to begin. Maybe I'll walk on by on the wing. Is that another guy?
Don't judge me, girlfriend.
Don't judge me.
I won't. Don't judge that girlfriend.
No,
Look in the mirror. Tell me if I've done you justice.
Nope.
No?
I remember bright nights in mid-June. We didn't even need stars to find ourselves. Each other. I remember how we had our own runs. We made them up just to be like no one else. Oh God! We didn't care what anyone would say. Those were the best days that we had. Those were the best days that we
All the people that are fighting so hard for this thing are literally just talking on the internet.
Did he say where he was going, or did he just...
Who, Toad?
Yeah.
He's gonna go kill himself, probably. Give it a ball. Let's be honest.
I'm just... But he phrased it as, I'm gonna go have an adventure, as though to taunt us, like, I'm...
Come and see.
Yeah.
Come find out.
Thank you.
Dude, I want to go on an adventure. Oh, yeah.
I know. Should we go fade together and just see
Yes.
what happens? Wait, who's in my camper?
As soon as we go, though, it won't be fun.
Although we
It
should
won't be
probably watch
nearly
the
as
fire.
fun as what we made it in our minds.
What's wrong, David?
Sometimes the adventure was the friends you made along the way.
Yeah.
My parents moved when I was like, I don't remember Santa Cruz.
We're breaking the matrix, you guys.
So then I lived. There's fucking two of us. Then I lived in upstate New York.
Taller.
I lived in upstate New York. Then I lived in New Mexico. Then I lived in California again.
This is it, you guys. This is the pinnacle here in Reed's thing.
Show them what's it.
This is the peak libertarian movement.
This is
This is what we've got.
This is it, guys. This is the top.
Notice the bed, the attire, the self-loathing. Libertarians, you guys. Murray Rothbard would be proud. What happened?
He picked up this rock and I don't know, we were closing the booth and then he just decided to hit Mikey in the head with it. And then Mikey's like, did you just hit me? And then he hit him again and then Michelle flew on top of him and tackled him and I guess it's the first arrest they've had here.
Jeez.
Ever.
Closing up, this kid comes back up. He's like, I think they're programming me. And I'm like, oh man, if you need somebody to talk to or something, there's plenty of people around. There's plenty of people still up, walking around, like, blah, blah, blah. And then I put that side of the wall up, I get around that corner, and then I hear night, night, and I get smacked in the face with the crystal. Mm-hmm. And I was kind of like stunned for a second. I was like, wait a sec. Before I could get to him, one of those two stepped in front of me. So I kind of like regained myself, and then I walked down over there. I was like, yo, hey, somebody come get this kid. And I hear footsteps behind me. He ran up behind me, jumped, and tried to hit me again. He did wind up hitting me again.
Ooh,
right
dude.
here. Yeah.
Ouch, man.
I got 3 staples in this side.
Sorry to hear that, dude.
No,
Glad you
it
got looked
happens,
after,
you know?
though, but Jesus.
Hey, one bad apple can't ruin the bunch, though.
That's true, man.
Some might reject the idea that murder is a crime, but that doesn't mean we have to agree with them.
While my father certainly made moral arguments, as I did and do, he did not put them in terms of the absolute NAP, for presumably the sort of reasons that I've discussed. He, in fact, was in favor of taxation. One of the things we ended up disagreeing about was whether or not you should have an anarchist society. And his position was that the system I described might work but probably wouldn't. My position was that it might not work but probably would.
Keep going.
Alright, we're at the place.
Like, we are seeing the corruption blatantly, like brazenly. It is shocking to me. Even this Biden, the son.
And this corruption, you know, we complained about 2020. And if you say 2020 was stolen, you're, of course, a nutcase and you're a conspiracy theorist.
Well, welcome to the club.
In 40,000 votes would have swung the election clearly in favor of Donald Trump. Those are 3 states alone. And then we had the 2.5-year collusion nonsense that undermined his ratings. And then we had the suppression of the Hunter Biden laptop story.
So that's where I caught my first, like, genuine suppression ban.
The FBI had that laptop from December 2019 and had the computer store repairman not made a copy, we never would have even known about it. And then we find out that Twitter worked with the DOJ to suppress this story, and there was a study done that looked at swing voters in swing states. 17% of these voters who voted for Joe Biden said they would not have voted for him had they known about this story.
having a great time at PorcFest. Thank you so much for being here. But your shoes, those are what I want to talk about most. If we can get a shot of those.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about this fashion choice?
This is called a Nina. This is my girlfriend, and her name is Nina.
Wow.
She's the one who dresses me. I have no idea. Someone asked me what these were. I said, I have no idea. So I looked, they're polos.
Okay.
Probably made in China. I have no idea.
Mm-hmm.
But if the...
So you support China, is what you're saying?
If the race were determined based upon somebody's shoes, I win in a landslide.
Absolutely.
I got the
hands
best
down.
kicks. I got the best kicks.
I assume you guys have been at PorcFest for a while? You've been...
Last year was our first.
So you guys loved it that much that you decided to get married here?
Oh yeah, I mean we've
made a lot of friends.
There's
nothing like PorcFest.
Oh,
yeah.
Every once in a while I'll guilt trip somebody because I'll talk about my own adventures with the IRS and how I ended up in a cage for 15 years, robbed in poverty in a hole I'm still trying to climb out of. And they'll say, I'm so sorry that happened to you. And if they're a Democrat or a Republican, I say, why? I mean, you voted for people who you knew were going to implement and enforce a tax policy that would do exactly this to people who disobey. Why aren't you happy about it? Like, you knew they were going to do that, right? You knew they weren't just asking nicely. Why do you feel bad about it? But that shows the conflict where they don't really want to look at the violence they condone because that makes them recognize, that's not really what I believe in. It's not really what I want.
N33.
He's got a blue October hat on back here.
Yeah. Come on in and join the bingo fun where we teach everybody inappropriate things. I-27.
All right, well, I'll ask a more obvious question, which should be obvious by my shirt. Would you be supportive of ending the Federal Reserve?
I don't see why we need one.
You know what, you hear all the time the establishment side say, oh, come on, there are barely any Nazis at all. As though anyone said there are millions and millions and millions of Nazis. But no one ever said that. That was never the argument. The argument was Nazis did the coup.
You might say, oh, it doesn't matter that I couldn't go to my grandfather's funeral. Who cares? That's not the end of the world. Actually, for a lot of people, that was the end of the world. There are hundreds of millions, if not billions, of stories of deep hurt and harm. Everyone you know is harmed. Everyone at this event is harmed. Every living person on the planet Earth is harmed except Peter Hotez. Who's worth $35 million? So a lot of people got rich at our expense.
Not much, just chatting. We did that wine tasting earlier, so I'm trying to keep things together, but
Fight.
Aloha.
Hey, fight.
God,
that's
stupid, David.
I love you.
Guys, look natural. He has a camera. He's the kid that at the very least, maybe he's the only child, maybe not. But
Act casual. Act casual,
Act
man.
casual.
Come on.
Wanted me to speak for an hour, and I made it a solid 17 minutes or so. But, whatever it is what it is.
It is what it is. And what does a trucker that also talks on the internet talk about for more than 15 minutes?
Well, see, I'm not even explicitly a trucker now. Now I'm a power line construction worker who...
So you got even less interesting.
Yeah, I do less politics and less tweeting, but I've still gotten more controversial somehow.
Explain, what's the latest controversy in Reed Coverdale's life that he's willing to discuss publicly?
Well,
for legal purposes.
Sure. I mean, I feel like I've kind of eased into admitting that the Libertarian Party is still a joke, and that the only real utility it has in the political world is messing up elections for some Republicans.
Here we go.
And beyond that, there's not really much use to it. And I think a lot of people are wasting their time. Like, if they're looking for electoral success, do it through the Republican Party or the Democrat Party if you must. But otherwise, I think investing in your own independence, your own wealth, everything is just a more worthwhile use of your time.
I would take it even further and invest in your passions and your thing that you were made to be, and really being self-aware. I talked about that a lot in my speech the other day. You would know that if you were there.
Yeah, I'm sure it was great.
It was. We should just cut into it right here and then come back to this interview after the speech. I might.
I don't know. No judgment to anybody. I just don't know. I'm not convinced. But I will work with anybody, mostly for money, obviously. But anybody I will work for because I will happily lend my messaging to their platform, and same with Joe Jorgensen. A lot more people know my videos than know my name, and that's perfectly fine with me. It keeps me more from getting canceled on the internet, but my podcast has been going twice as long as Reed Coverdale's, and mine's way more fun, you know, but with a fraction of the numbers, and that's okay, because I'm having fun, I'm paying my bills, I'm lighting passion sparks. What a blessing that is, quite frankly. I don't know if I'll do it forever, but for now, I'm here, and I'm doing it, and I'm gonna do my best, and I don't care that I'm speaking here again instead of the pavilion, like Reed Coverdale did last year. I'm here right now, and again, I think it's for a reason, and I think you are too.
So, where were you?
I don't remember.
Must have been a good time. Now, then you asked me the next day, would you come to my speech down at the pavilion? And then I did, and you didn't know I was there.
It's true. Everything you said is true.
Just for the record, just want to make sure, for the annals of libertarian history, we're it, guys. We're the peak. This is it. This is what you sign up for.
We are running this shit. Good luck.
We're fucked.
Oh, the war's already won. The lies are shattered and undone. Now there's only time between me and what is mine, and the truth will shine through in the end. Until then, didn't I give it all? I will stand, there I fall. Someday soon I'll be free. What a day that will be.
All right, welcome everybody. We are here, rain or shine, at PorcFest, and I believe this is the very first official event we are hosting from LP National to speak with our presidential candidates. So thank you all for being here.
We all recognize that if we're waiting for the Republicans or the Democrats to do anything to stand up for your rights, we're waiting for something that I would argue is not going to happen.
Everybody's pissed off, everybody's involved in the culture war, and I just got tired of watching my friends beat each other up and be pissed off at each other. And I believe that the culprit of this division in America is the government.
I'm somebody who loves to stick a thumb in the eye of the two-party system, and I believe that our presidential candidate has to be active, enthusiastic, and somebody who can garner support by being a visible libertarian.
It's a hollowed out husk of itself because it's just a monument to something that doesn't exist anymore. And so you want to think about Marbury versus Madison, you think about Marbury or Madison show up today, they would have a heart attack if they saw what was actually going on in Washington, D.C., because it's not even the argument they were having. That's where the real power is wielded, which is in the drab government buildings that none of us go to see as tourists. They're drab for a reason. Once the name becomes toxic, they just reinvent the same thing under a new name. DEI, well, we'll make it CEI instead. Corporate Equality Index, not diversity, equity, inclusion. It's an iterative game of continuing to play verbal jujitsu. And so yes, CBDC, if that's been 4 bad acronyms, they'll say, oh, we need to make a new one instead. But the real answer is we need to restore the purpose of each institution and government itself so that it can't mutate itself out of a nebulous and vague purpose. That's why the Pentagon's able to get away with what it does, by the way. When you have a vague purpose, you can reinvent it after the fact. The same thing goes for the Federal Reserve.
Okay. 10 points for creativity and including a musical backing track, so that's fantastic.
That was a song?
Angela McArdle! All right. I've got a rant in two parts. First part of my rant. Took over the Libertarian Party at the national level. That shit is hard. It does not work like your state level party. Lots of work costs a lot of money. I wish we had more lifetime members. Low energy Jebs, some of you, not joining the Libertarian Party. Shame, shame. However, we do have one wonderful human being here who has decided to become a lifetime member, and I would like to counter that low energy by pinning him on stage. So Steve Valet, come on up here. You are badass. Thank you so much for joining. Get no closer person here. You are the best. Thank you. Thank you, Steve. I've got a letter to the post-libertarians and our fair weather friends who have left us and gone on a different, more status path. You bid us farewell and climbed out of our broken window fallacy for the last time and followed from then on in someone else's footsteps, attempting to find in law what you believed was lost in liberty. And so many times you stopped and turned back to point and jeer at us, and then continued on the way, all the while feeling dissatisfied, maybe pursued by something else, something that was inside you, that was still connected to the pursuit of liberty. And you know, late at night you scroll in the glow of your phone and you gaze at old PorcFest photos and quotes from your economist friends, and it's like a window into your not too distant past, and it's filled with your best memories. And like it or not, at some point it comes flooding back in. The Ron Paul Revolution, PorcFest, your friends here. You tried to leave us all behind, but you were more faithful than you ever intended to be, because no matter how hard you try, you can't escape our framing, our philosophy, and our guiding North Star. It's an irresistible calling card, and in the end, the desire in your heart for liberty will burn hotter than the fires of your nihilism and desire for cultural revenge. We'll see you when you come back.
Since I've learned that you don't have to rant, I guess I don't actually have to be a judge.
I will say that Angela Keaton has not disappointed us with her erudition and eloquence, but I will add to that her hard work and her dedication to the cause has been an inspiration to everyone all over the country. She's paid a big personal price for it. She has no regrets. If you do, don't tell us. But I think we all owe her a great debt of gratitude.
Give it up for Angela!
But I'm not supposed to be a comedy routine. I'm supposed to be angry. And I am genuinely not that angry that often. But instead I'll do something new I've learned to do as a dad, just to tell you why I'm disappointed in you. You know, I can't keep that turned up. You know how, like, socialists are like, our ideas are so good. And then you're like, why don't you run a grocery store that way? You know, like, we just run a socialist grocery store if your ideas are so good, right? And there aren't any. I think this is a pretty fair criticism of socialism, right? If your ideas are so good, why can't you just put them into practice? Okay? And I have actually the same exact complaint for the libertarians. Where are the large and massive billion-dollar libertarian companies? Yes. And the large libertarian leaders? We really going with Morningstar Tomatoes as the best company a libertarian can build? I love that man. I'm not dragging anyone. I'm dragging the people who aren't that man. What he's done is quite impressive. But where is it? Where is it? If our ideas are so good, and this is not your fault, Angela, but if our ideas are so good, Why is the Libertarian Party constantly a shit show? Why is the Libertarian Party of New Hampshire constantly a shit show? I'm not pointing fingers. Why?
At yourself.
Why is all of this stuff such a mess? If our ideas are so good, why can't we do it better? Why can't I point to this organization and say, look, just do that? Why can't I point to more things? Why haven't we built more things? Why haven't we, instead of arguing with people and trying to convince them that our ways are better, why isn't there more just doing it?
We got a lot of shit about that gun-free zone, right? So, I get it. But here's the thing. In the real world, even in the voluntarist world, even in your most desired utopian, perfect, principled world, shit is not always going to be to your liking. Property rights is a thing. We remember that, right? So, when it's not your fucking house, you can shut the fuck up. And it's not your fucking house. But I welcome you as my guests. And Kennedy was our guest. And then also allowing the people who didn't like the idea to use their own human action to go do their protest. So literally, we showed the entire fucking world how we do things.
Ray Buckley warned us about, the head of the New Hampshire Democratic Party, put out a press release telling Bobby Kennedy to not come and talk to the dark and dystopian extremists in the mountains of New Hampshire.
I see you running around. I've seen you like every single place in the campground this week, and you are doing an amazing job. Thank you so much for holding the cats together in the bag and beating them to death.
You're welcome.
So I am so stressed. We've got the gun people, we got the other people, we got the angry mommies, who I have a lot of empathy for. I don't know if you guys know this, but the autism rate in America has gone from like 1 in 10,000 to 1 in 36. We have a catastrophic problem. We may make light of it in terms of fiat medicine, but there is a unhealthy, unbalanced, unscientific situation going on with vaccines. You don't have to believe me, but I've been researching this since the 90s, and if we're fronting, I will tell you, I'm very, very often right.
All right, go ahead.
If flat Earth is real and we are really under a giant dome,
Yeah.
what about meteors?
I've seen several theories. Whatever the dome's made of might actually have chunks of shit that falls down.
Mhm.
Some kind of crazy, like,
All right.
sapphire crystal thing, probably. I don't know.
Yep.
Or ideas about, like, if it's something about things sparking, either because of, I don't know, it's been a while since I looked at this shit.
that the Libertarian Party did, you in particular, a complaint that I have actually. My biggest complaint is that you forced the best candidate out of our party just on a whim without even giving him a chance, Mr. Joe Exotic 2024.
Mr. Joe Exotic. Yeah, candidates like Joe Exotic tend to suck all of the oxygen out of the room and make us more like the party of James Weeks.
Yeah.
And I was not excited about that, and neither were the rest of our candidates and people in leadership. So I did a little aggressive twittering at Joe Exotic.
Yeah.
And he decided to leave. But you know what's really tragic about
I did some
that?
aggressive twittering of Joe Exotic too. I don't think he's a fan of me either, but I still support him till the day. We need Joe Biden in jail, running against Donald Trump in jail, running against Tiger King in jail, running against Maj Trey in jail. How do you feel?
Ooh, well, Maj is out of jail, so
Oh,
yeah.
dang it.
So
We
he
missed our chance.
Please join the Libertarian Party of New Hampshire. Dang. $25. Do you want to save a life? I still want to chat with you, but we're about to make a video, so.
Okay, yeah, you should be in it.
What are you guys doing?
I don't know. We don't know yet. We're going to make a Jeremy ad.
Well,
for nothing.
Make a Dan video.
Sure.
We're gonna combine the Jeremy.
He's
Brittman
calling it.
and Dan
He
brains.
says that. He says we're making a Dan video because he knows then I won't charge him for it if it's a me video. But he's going to be
Jewish.
politicianing. Yes, very, very Jewish. Yes.
Bring the real facts back to the Libertarian Party. We don't hide the truth. We expose the truth. And if I need to expose myself to expose the truth, so be it. Easier that like when I roll up with cameras that like people know they're kind of in on a bit,
Right.
rather than being like, what's going on?
That's why I want you in costume of some sort.
Yeah, I agree. I think people know I don't dress like this.
Yeah.
Hopefully. Oh wow, my voice is still dirty.
Yeah, we're not doing the video.
This is actually pretty good.
I know.
Should I dress like this?
Yes. I was just doing this to get you to have some sort of fashion sense. I feel like you're not listening. I feel like you're not listening to the words I'm saying.
We're gonna learn how to make the Libertarian Party bigger than it's ever been.
We top 10.
I've been looking for the most libertarian person in the entire world to save the Libertarian Party.
That's possibly the right person you're talking to then. That could happen.
It's you. We found it. We found the most libertarian man in the world.
Libertarian guys.
All we need to do is do exactly what this man says, and we will have saved the Libertarian Party. Tell
It's
us.
that easy. That's all you have to do. I have a whole book on it, A Vision for a Libertarian Future. Just read it.
That's
We're good to go.
One book.
One
was
book.
all we needed the entire time.
The whole time.
Let me write that down as one of our clues.
I'm gonna move for you.
There we go.
They're
A book.
Read a book.
That is what it will take to save the Libertarian Party. Do we know what book? No, we don't.
All right, our third and final judge is Jeremy Kaufman, the ultimate troll of Twitter. He ran for U.S. Senate last year. He ran a great campaign where he tried to become a lizard person, and I think we're all very proud of him. So, for those of you that are unaware, this is a safe space of sorts.
My drink is whiskey.
But like a real safe space, not like one of those ones on liberal college campuses. And by that I mean you can say whatever you want in here. Tough shit, Sean.
Okay, so we're gonna go this way. I'll do second then.
How's it going, PorcFest? You guys ready for Fork Box Idol? No more second-class citizen rants because we're not fucking celebritarians who couldn't get invited to Dennis Pratt's personal list of who he wanted to hear rant, because that's not what ranting's about. And Soapbox has lost its heart and soul over the years, in my opinion, because it's no longer about standing up here, delivering a message that inspires and drives people and showing your passion. It's about people doing slam poetry, reading essays, or debating a point they've rehearsed for 18 months to try and score points with the judges. If you're doing Soapbox for the points, you've already lost the main point that matters. It's about your passion, not your win. And I'm sick and tired of the victories going not to those who inspire the most, but to those whose mothers wrote their essays and they read it out loud.
I do want to say I'm really sad, Aria, that you are facing prison. I think that's a travesty. I hope you know that a lot of people will be thinking about it, and it sucks. And likewise to Mr. Kaufman there at the end of the table, you know, the government's a bully. And so part of the origin story for many Free Staters is kind of how the government hurt them. There are not enough of us to be able to stop these travesties yet. So these people are heroes because they go ahead of us and they take the hard knocks, and it's a shitty, shitty part of doing this. So please give them all a round of applause, and then let's have some fun.
Should we move the box to the floor, or?
I'm deducting points for the next train.
How many of you consider yourselves Free Staters? Fuck you. Fuck the Free State Project. Fuck the Free State Movement. I'm from here, and you guys are a bunch of arrogant assholes. At least you know it. Okay, so
We are so fucking smart, you guys. We're also kind of dicks a lot of the time.
So, seriously, you're a bunch of arrogant assholes. You come here like, well, the Free State Project, it's so great, we're gonna move to New Hampshire. It's the best state ever. You guys picked New Hampshire because of the culture, because of the live free or die mentality, and because of the people here, right? And then you come here and you're like, we're not gonna talk to anybody but ourselves. We're only gonna talk to other libertarians. Fuck you. Fuck you. You know what? Then you do this whole thing. Thank a Free Stater. Thank a Free Stater. You got here 7 years ago, and you're gonna thank a Free Stater for how free New Hampshire is? You didn't build this from scratch. Fuck you. You didn't build this shit from scratch. But you know what's better than thank a Free Stater? Thank a fucking Granite Stater. Thank a Granite Stater you see out there embodying the values that you actually want. You came to New Hampshire because of the people in New Hampshire. Thank a Granite Stater that's the kind of person you want to be around.
I am big mad. You might have heard that there are some controversies at this PorcFest. Well, yeah, I made a list of grievances, and excuse me for using the list, but there's politicians here? Fuck that. Mainstream media? Yeah, you know you are. Gun-free zones, naked people, bans and protests of the bans. But I don't think you should be mad at these events. You should be mad at the assholes running these events. These nefarious actors that want nothing but the worst for all of you, want nothing but the worst for PorcFest. So I'm gonna name names and take some inventory here. I'm gonna start with Mikey, that troll back there. Don't be swayed by him volunteering at the load up or putting wayfinding signs or doing free tours or just being a nice guy. That is a cover. He is not your fucking friend. All right, how about Carla Garrett? That you might think she's a monster because she didn't answer your question at RFK, but just wait until you get to know her. She's not your fucking friend. And how about Dennis Pratt? Dennis fucking Pratt. Don't even get me started. He is not your fucking friend. So you're coming to PorcFest and you're thinking that, oh, out there's the big bad state and that's my enemy. No, your enemy's right here at PorcFest.
Is he able to hear me? Okay. So I have a misogyny medley. I apologize in advance. I think I know how we can solve the age of consent. Women are never adults. You don't have curves, you have fat rolls. He isn't ghosting you, he's choosing not to text you back, and you don't need a fancy term for when people don't want to talk to you. He is not gaslighting you, maybe you're actually being crazy. You don't have this powerful, big personality that's just too much for some people to handle. It's just you are annoying, and you're not hot enough to compensate for being annoying. Where did all the good men go? They went with the women that were not complaining about men.
Carol Pratt.
Are you guys enjoying PorcFest? Dennis, I don't think, he may be here by now, but he wasn't here when I got up for this rant because he was sleeping. He was physically and emotionally drained from this event. And I'm gonna be reading this because I'm gonna get a little bit emotional and it'll be easier for me to do. Dennis has a thick skin. He knows that criticism comes with the territory of organizing a festival for the most disagreeable people in the world. All right. He rants to me. That's my contribution to the Free State Project. And then he shrugs it off and he keeps going because he cares so much about the success of this movement. But without him telling me that it hurts, I have no doubt that it does. I wasn't gonna rant. I heard Justin's rant. I don't know where Justin is, but I've heard Justin's rant. And I'm thinking, really? You're calling Dennis out by name to criticize him for a decision that wasn't even his, ranting at him incessantly online. When is the last time you gave him some credit? Why are the few assholes in New Hampshire, not just Justin, so loud? Why are people who pour their heart and soul into supporting the mission of the Free State Project vilified and abused? Whoever is organizing PorcFest has to make decisions that some people will like and some will hate. And for Dennis's sake, and for the sake of the success of the Free State Project, which needs dedicated, passionate, creative, intelligent, hardworking volunteers, stop being an asshole and burning them out.
And having to please 3,000 libertarians is an impossible task, right? And similarly, I don't envy the position that you're in of having to be there and to console him when 3,000 libertarians can't stop fighting each other long enough to do anything. But it does come with the territory. And maybe it shouldn't. Right, yeah. Yeah, right, I understand, yeah.
No.
And maybe it shouldn't come with the territory, and there's plenty of arguments to be made for that, but it does, right? I would love to be able to go online and do my radio show without people going, oh my God, a freaking tranny, right? These are things that just come with the territory, and you just gotta fucking deal with it.
How you feeling, Dennis?
Instead of media, it's fucking propaganda.
Exhausted.
Instead of dollar, maybe use fiat.
Dear Connecticut, fuck you! You have no right to tell me where I can or cannot defend myself. Gun-free zones suck.
I don't care if you're trans, I don't care if you're non-binary, I don't care if you're playing with your gender or expression or your haircut or any of those things. What I do have a problem with is when young girls in 5th grade, let's say, are going to an after-school club and told that they're not really a girl because they're acting like a tomboy, because they don't like the color pink, they don't like wearing dresses, they're quite literally going to school and the school is telling them, guess what, honey, you're not really a girl, you might be a boy, you might be non-binary. They're doing this without telling the parents what they're doing. Over 11,000 school districts in the country right now have policies in their handbooks that say, we will not tell your parents if you start using a different name and gender at school. There is no excuse to not be asking every single presidential candidate, will you defund the Department of Education at every single event they do in New Hampshire? And if we aren't doing that, I don't know what we're doing here.
So you did have a lot of energy, and that's awesome. But I think it says a lot that you did not talk at all about the biggest issue here, which, yes, it's messed up for schools to hide things from parents, right? But the real fucking question here, the one that you did not address, is why isn't the child comfortable telling the parents this themselves? That's the heart of this issue here. The school is saying, look, you don't feel comfortable telling your parents that you want to transition or that you don't feel like a girl or whatever. We're not going to rat you out to them. But why the fuck isn't the child comfortable enough to say that to their parents in the first place? Why don't they feel like their parents will love them regardless? That's the heart of the issue here. The child should tell their parents, not the school. I absolutely agree with that. But the problem here is that the child isn't comfortable because the child fears the reaction. And nothing was said about that. But I did like the energy and I did like what you had to say. And, you know, fuck the government schools, absolutely, and fuck everything that they do. So I'm giving you 15 out of 20.
Our final rant of the night, the only person that the FSB told me I have to give a spot to tonight. His name is Ryan George, and I'll let him give his rant without much more of an introduction than that.
Get on the box.
Hello. I'd like to thank everyone for coming up on stage. You're all fearless.
If you could hold it a little more in front of you, we'd hear it.
Yeah? All right. I want to say thank you to all the men and women up here and that young kid who are fearless to come up here and speak in front of you guys. You guys are brutal. I love it. I need you guys. I'm a 5th generation New Hampshireite. My family's been waiting for you since the Civil War. That wasn't funny. We're dying here. We're dying. My 17-year-old daughter, I got 5 daughters, by the way. She's 6'3", the most beautiful red hair you've ever seen in your entire life. She'd stare at you, and you were scared shitless because she was so pure of heart. My family is the Frank-Orr family, which means true heart. And we've been in New Hampshire for a long time, holding space for you guys to get here. I've been waiting for the Army to show up. We got the opportunity that we have never had since my family came here. There's a war going on. There's a war of consciousness. There's a war of ignorance. There's a war of sleeping little children in adult bodies. You guys are fat. You're drunk. You're a bunch of drug addicts. Okay? You go to the doctor and you do what they tell you because they're there to kill you, by the way. Because they killed my 17-year-old 6 weeks ago. It's the second attempt they made on her, and they got her the second time. I've been fighting for my life, for all my children, to get to the point where they can have children. She was given the vaccine, and she was dead within a week. The first time was the MMR when she was 2 years old. She died in my arms. But I was medically trained. I was ready. I knew what to do. I got a bathtub full of water, and I put all the ice in that bathtub, and I brought her back to life. I did CPR, and my daughter was alive. I got a big trash bag of ice, and I brought her to the hospital. And they fucking wanted me to wait in the waiting room. I fucking broke the door down at the hospital and got my daughter in the hospital because she was dying from the MMR vaccine that she had 3 hours before. There's a war on the people. And it's not the government that's the problem, it's you guys. Because you're weak, and you're ignorant, and you're afraid. And I say that with love. Because I was afraid too. Until they finally, one of my daughters. We got this guy who came here. I know you don't like him, but he's talking about it. And you know what? Let's get him and Trump on the fucking stage and talk about it. Our children are dying. Every fucking libertarian, join the Democratic Party, get this fucking guy on stage so we can have him and Trump going at it and talk about it. I don't give a shit who wins, but guess what? 50 cents on every dollar in this state comes from the feds. And I can prove it. I have firsthand knowledge. And you know, when you go into a court and you feel that shit in your stomach, it's called cognitive dissonance because you're walking into a fucking gunfight with a pocket knife and you guys think you know what you're fucking doing. And you don't. Because I go in a courtroom with 25 cops and we spend 4 hours going back and forth with the judge. And you know the problem? It's the executive branch. It's the prosecutors. It's the cops. It's the ones who are inciting you to have a fight because you guys are so busy looking to fucking mix it up. Which is cool, and I like that, and that's why you guys are here. But let's get someone in the White House who has the pedigree to at least have the conversation and stop this shit. So your kids and my kids don't have to go in a courtroom and fight for themselves for years on end. You know, one last thing. When my daughter, Sophie, was 7, I put all my effort into her. She became autistic because of this. It took me 6 years to get her to put her clothes in her dresser. And you know what happened a month later? The fucking cops showed up at my house in the middle of the night when I was sleeping with my 4 daughters in bed, and they took me away. And people say, oh, I'm sorry for your loss. And I'm like, don't be sorry for my loss. Be sorry that my daughter's protector was taken away from her 7 years ago. And I spent the last 7 years fighting in a courtroom to protect my daughters. I almost lost one to the gender manipulation, my oldest. Her name was Jules. She's the most beautiful girl you've ever seen, woman now. And she called herself Augustus Caesar because she was trying to be the man of the house because I wasn't there. Hormone therapy. Blockers, hormone blockers, testosterone. She was 14 fucking years old. You know what? I broke my restraining order. I went to my daughter and I told her that she wasn't me and to cut that shit out, and she stopped. But what did they do? They gave the vaccine to all my girls, and one of them died. You guys get together. You know, yeah, we're practicing, we're fighting with each other, we're getting our shit together, but let's get together. Let's get this guy in fucking Washington who showed up here, showed us the respect that New Hampshire's the first in the nation, because we're the first in the nation. I'm a 5th generation New Hampshireite. This is my country, and I have to put up with those other 49, and I'll do it because 50% of the money comes here, whether you guys like it or not. So let's get organized, let's get together, let's decide amongst ourselves to do something in this state of 1.3 million people and fucking take over the world, because the administrative or the executive branch of the United States government is the military of the world. And we in New Hampshire, in this room of about, 200 people, actually have the power to take back the greatest force in the world. by bringing consciousness that we're killing our own kids and we're eating our own young. Thank you for listening to me. And just...
Well, you're all about to hate me, man, because you might be a captivating guy, but I think you're completely fucking insane. I think you're completely fucking insane. And I think all of you who want to associate libertarianism with anti-vax bullshit, you can do it, but you won't get me along for the fucking ride, because it is bullshit. I have a degree in physics. I've gone through the science. I have looked at it, and anyone who wants to bring the fucking facts here can get with me, and you know I'm happy to take an unpopular position when there is one. And this is the correct position. The vast majority of vaccines work. They save lives. I don't know what happened to your daughter, man, and I'm sorry to be harsh to you on stage like this, because I am sorry. That's a terrible thing. Terrible.
You're not even sober.
I'd be happy.
You're not even fucking sober.
Yeah, sure. Bring it, man. Let's have a factual discussion. Okay. All right, so I'm sorry that your daughter's dead, but you're not getting it from me. Zero. No counter argument.
It's not about anti-vax.
Put the fucking mic down.
It's not anti-vax.
Put the mic down.
Make me. This is my fucking country. It's called New Hampshire.
Get him off, Constance. Get him off.
These people are here to New Hampshire.
Get him off.
No. Just listen.
This is not.
Let me respond. I'm not looking for your opinion.
So
I'm not looking for your opinion. I'm not anti-vax. I just want the conversation to be public.
You said elect Robert Kennedy.
No, I didn't.
Have a discussion about
I said
vaccines.
have the discussion.
Zero. Get off the stage, loser.
Fuck you. Come on. You want to bring my daughter back?
I'm sorry your daughter's
dead.
You
just called me a loser.
Yeah.
I'm not going to acquiesce to this. I'm not going to acquiesce. This is how we treat people.
Like a loser.
I wasn't looking to compete. I was just sharing a truth.
Where's Sean?
No, look at your mother.
Listen. I'm also...
If you say your daughter died because a magical god struck her out of the sky, it doesn't mean you endorse delusions.
You're being aggressive. You need to stop. Stand down.
Let's do it. Let's do the podcast. Let's bring the facts. Anyone, anytime. You know I'll go on any show.
Yeah,
because
people
you're behaving
call
like
names.
one.
It's not the same as being violent and...
I'm sorry. How many times do you want to say? And this world, man, you've lost control, dude. You've lost control. I'm sorry that your daughter's dead. I've said that multiple times. Nope.
No. You need to step off the stage. No. Okay. That's not how we wanted this to end. We have a celebration.
You're also over time. That was like 10 minutes. Follow the fucking rules, loser.
So I think that we were kind of set up here because he has a very sad story and somebody put him on the list. But this is not the rant. This is not the place to have this discussion.
Just shut up and be quiet and listen.
Get off the stage. Off the stage. You're the one who... I follow rules when I'm drunk. I follow rules when I'm drunk. You can't follow rules when you're sober. Loser. Off. Get him off. Do we have rules or not? Get him off.
It's okay, AJ. This was, and I know a lot of people walked out. A lot of people are anti-vaxxers. Everybody has a story, like we said earlier.
We've had a couple tough moments at this PorcFest, but overall, we put together a lot of people with different opinions, and the one thing that we share is that we know that our lives will be better when the government is gone.
authoritarianism that you have actually suffered, the authoritarianism that maybe your family has suffered, the authoritarianism that your friends have suffered, the authoritarianism that your neighbors have suffered, whether that's here in the United States or overseas. So what I want you to do is really think about that authoritarianism and imbue that into your stick. Because we're going to put in the porcupine and we're going to throw the authoritarianism in after it. I'll try. Okay? So, please.
Thank you, Teddy!
That's how you prevent COVID right there. That's how you prevent COVID.
Everybody's here for you, Dennis.
All your fucking friends are here, Dennis. You want to make your way down here?
It is a privilege to live in the free state. It is a privilege to volunteer in the free state. It is a privilege to build in the free state. And it's a privilege to have people bitch at you in the free state. I was telling people today, a number of people have apologized for someone else, and I'm going, you don't have to apologize. This is a blessing. I could be castigated and raked through the coals in New York, in Chicago, in Jersey, but I'm here in the Free State really building stuff. And so, I mean, what a blessing. What a privilege. And I am not fucking retiring. There's no fucking retirement in this.
21! You're retiring for PorcFest.
Right. So I'm not that much of a manager. I create. And that's what I'm doing. I have all these projects, Carol can tell you. I am chomping at the bit. There's no retirement going on here. All right? This is just a new leaf.
Damn straight!
Jack, did you go on an adventure?
I am the adventure.
Bill, are you wearing sheath underwear?
Fuck yeah.
Fucking yeah, man.
I got my cock and balls tucked in a pouch right now.
Manchester. Post-PorcFest. Current bed. Much sweaty. Even though I just took a shower, it is quite toasty. Jack, how are you, sir?
Doing good. I'm tired.
I am also tired. You should be at least 4 hours less tired.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe 5 if you include the hour on the trip.
I did. Yeah, I did nap. I did nap a lot on the way back.
Jack gets it in when he can. And by that I mean naps. How was your nap?
It's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Much needed.
was like 4 hours long.
Yeah, shit, was it?
I don't know. I've lost track of time. It has no meaning and it's not real anyway, so.
Yeah, I keep thinking it's worse. Yeah. Yeah.
New Hampshire is dangerous. Don't come here.
The ritual was complete. The sacrifices were made.
The skin was burned.
Yes, the skin. Yeah, I sacrificed my flesh to the sun god of the Arrakis of the party, the dune of.
He writes books. We get it.
It was awesome. It was a lot of. It was like a
roller coaster of drama, tension, and fun. Yes, it was.
There was also a lot of really good moments, really good energy, cool conversations with people.
You're being too positive.
I I can't help it. There is something cool about when you're surrounded by people who you can talk to about not just stuff you do agree on that we're all there for, but also the other cool stuff, creative stuff, passion projects, and just interesting. You learn interesting things about people. And so, yeah, PorcFest is a lot like Paradise is, if you could stay at PorcFest forever, and hell is if we had to stay another day longer.
All right. I think, I don't know what this is going to be. As always, I filmed a bunch of shit, and I'll put it together later. And this has been some sort of podcast or something.
Yeah.
Thank you all for being here for the nonsense, and I'll see you when I do. Question everything. Stay uncomfortable. Get some sleep. Take a shower. Get your shit together. Everybody, just get your shit together. Thank you, PorcFest. You guys are awesome. Also, just kind of get your shit together sometimes,
We love you. We forgive you. And thank you for bringing us out. It was worth it. It was worth it.
It was worth it.
Yeah. JackCaseyBooks.com.
And also with you.
Those were the best days that we had. Those were the best days that
all of your belongings with you. Just stick around close to the gate area, because once we do board, we'll be departing shortly after that.
This is not real life, but I got on my flight. First off, I didn't get to say goodbye to Jack because he had to go deal with his flight getting redone.
Oh, that's why it happened.
Yes.
I was like, you're going to come back and say bye.
Yeah, I thought so too. And then I was like already through TSA, and I was like, well, shit. My flight is moved back, but I at least got to come back and say goodbye to Jack Casey.
Well, and as a big proponent of conspiracy theories, I believe this is probably the work of the Free Staters. This is a conspiracy to halt us from leaving the Free State.
Which one of the Jews is up to this?
Well, it's, yeah. There's at least one I can
Jeremy
think of who
Kaufman.
might be able to pull it off, yeah.
He just wanted you to follow the fucking rules, loser. Update. We just saw Luke Rutkowski walk by and then walk back by. So, if we get trapped here tonight, we're going on a Luke Rutkowski hunt.
those were the best days that we
Joe Exotic 2024.
I love
yeah,
it.
I mean, obviously.
I'm 100% on board.
Thank you.
I love them.
You're the first honest person who's answered that question.
I was saying that all over PorcFest. I went to the Libertarian...
I was wearing the shirt.
I went to the Libertarian Party booth.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm so excited for Joe Exotic to be your presidential candidate. This man
Fuck
knows
yeah.
what's up.
those were the best days that we had. Those were the best days that we had. Those were the best days that we had.
What? You did. I don't know what you're talking about.
Those were the best days that we
So, now for the after party.